Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 494 at scavengerlife.com.
Okay, I'm going to say something that I don't want to say.
No. What?
I have been very stressed this week.
I will say this. I know.
I don't want to say it.
I know. You're like, I'm fine. I'm like, really? It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have not been able to hold it together very well this week.
Yeah. Look, I know from experience, I'm like mostly like that. You know what I mean? Like, you get to be like that sometimes, and like, I'm always like, no, that's not true. I'm not always like that, but I'm like that a lot.
So, what is it like being around someone that's stressed?
You're like, this is what it's like for me. Yeah, they get snippy, they get short.
Right.
Like, they're distracted. You're like, oh, what about this thing? And they're like writing some list on their phone that you're like, I cannot pull them away from that. Like, they're just not listening. Distracted.
What it feels like from the inside is, it's like there's something that's bothering me, but it's not something specific.
Right.
And I don't want it to bother me. And so I'm just like, I'm just not going to worry about it.
But it comes out.
It's still there, and I can't stop. And it just keeps bothering me. Yeah. And there's almost nothing I can do. And and it makes me feel like I'm short with people. I don't have a lot of patience. Yeah. I'm kind of like always a little bit, not angry.
Cranky.
I would say the
cranky.
other word. Yeah, cranky. Yeah. And
look, I feel that way too.
And I do. I mean, it's obvious why. It's just it's because we're doing these big projects, and it always brings big stress. Yeah,
there are lots of like things up in the air. I mean, I have a whole list of why we might feel like that.
But I mean, and then I always have to remind myself. But then I feel good when we've seen it through. The projects are done. So like this coffee shop is maybe finished in 2-3 months. I don't know. We're getting there.
Yeah, there are lots of details still.
But the problem is that anyway, and I can't ignore these feelings. Hello, Dad. You can't ignore these feelings. I have to deal with
Dad.
them. So because with anything, like if you start an eBay store, and like for us right now, trying to start this coffee shop, it's just like we don't see a dime until it's done. Yep. And it's just like with an eBay store too. You just got to start listing. Like you can go and find the coolest stuff, and you have all this cool stuff, and you're like, look at this, it's so cool, and you make YouTube videos about how cool your stuff is. But until you actually list it and like get it all up, it doesn't sell. Yep. And with this coffee shop too, it's just money, work, time, and we don't see a dime until it's 100% finished. Like, it's not. I can't sell coffee out of a half complete place.
Right. Exactly.
And so,
and also like, look, because we are ambitious perfectionists, when it comes to certain projects like this, which is. It sounds great, but it's super annoying.
Ooh, cool, a little coffee shop. Ooh, people can come and enjoy.
I mean, it's just like there's so many details. Like, I have a list in my head, which I shouldn't have. I should have it on my phone or a piece of paper.
Yeah,
look, it's like,
what is it?
We have to finish our menu, which we have been working on.
Right.
I need to figure out like the logistics of the menu. Where do we store stuff? What are we doing? What's our final equipment? Because we have an equipment list, but we're like, we got to make sure this is exactly what we need.
Because, I mean, just to be clear, this is a coffee shop.
Right. With snacks.
Like an espresso bar.
Yes.
With food.
Right.
It's not a restaurant.
Right. It's not a restaurant. It's a cafe.
Right.
It's a light food options, snacks.
Right.
And pastries.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
Chili dogs.
So now, okay, you never said that, just so you know. That's like definitely up in the air. So, there's that. So that's a big deal, right? You're like, I'm coming up with a menu. I'm trying to figure out what can be done in a space that's not a kitchen. Right. Like, we don't have a kitchen. We have like a food prep space. Right. So we're collaborating on that. So in our current location at Harrisonburg, there's shelves here, there's shelves there. There's a place for merchandise. There's like a little drink cooler with LaCroix. And like, we have spaces for all that. But I'm like, we have to get all the stuff that we need a menu board. We need to like figure out how we're like creating a menu board and like, what do we do when food changes? Like, where do we put that? Okay. So that's me.
The good news is we have partners.
Yes.
And they know about this stuff.
Yes.
More than we do.
They have much more experience.
And that's the whole point of this, is that it doesn't have to be on our shoulders.
Exactly.
But yeah, I agree. And those things, we're talking about trying to open, who knows, March. But with this pandemic, it's hard to tell, when is a good time to open up a front-facing business with people gathering. So we will see.
Yeah. Can always sell coffee to go. That's the beauty.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like I said, halfway isn't good enough. I mean,
right, exactly.
I mean, just because with a lot of things, it has to be complete to make money. Right. But I also just have to remember just to trust our own taste, Yes. Like with our eBay store, I mean, like 90% of our items are items we think are cool, 10% are probably just items that like eBay says is valuable, and we're like, why not we just sell them? But for the most part, we built our business on like, I think this is cool. Someone will probably buy it. Let's put it up. Yeah. And someone does.
And it's interesting because it's even like, I think this is cool. It's not my style. Like today I sold this like crazy iridescent glass vase. Right. I'm like, I would never put that in my house or any of my rentals. But I know that there is someone out there. Right. That will value this.
And just like with our rentals too, we've finished them, we've renovated them and decorated them in a place where that we would want to stay.
Yeah, it is our style.
If we were rich, right? We're not a target.
We could
market.
Afford it.
We would not be staying in our own rentals really, because we like to price it high because it's worth it. And I have to remember that for this coffee shop too, is that we have to like. It's now painted. It's like finished.
The inside's finished.
Yeah. And we've been bringing in all this stuff we've been collecting.
Furniture,
chairs,
rugs.
Rugs, art. And so now we have to like decorate this place. And I have to remember to trust our own taste. Like I want to make a place where I would want to drink coffee.
Which we will be drinking coffee there every single day. Right. And well, look, and so that's a point, right? Like if we're working in this place, like our roaster building, we made our roaster building because it was like this little garage, disgusting, dirty garage that was rotting into the ground, which we didn't know when we bought it.
Wow.
But,
why did we buy this place? That's crazy.
Well, look, every building we buy, we're like, this is rotting into the ground. And we were like, well, we want to make it nice because we have to work here all the time. So that's kind of part of it too. You're like, of course you want it to be a beautiful, cozy public space. But if you're having to be there all the time, like you said, things have to be finished. And we're like that with our rentals too. Because if you don't finish something, it will never get finished. There won't be any time. Like with our rentals, we're like, oh, we got to fix that thing. But there's someone in the house all the time. So I don't have 4 hours to like go fix that thing, So unless it's maintenance, so that's where the stress comes from. You're like, everything must be perfect and in place by the time we open the doors.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just want to back away on perfect.
Not perfect.
But it just has to be complete. That's all.
It has to be like, we thought of it, it's done, it's functional. Right. And so it's a lot.
Yeah. And, I think like with eBay too, like that's the hardest thing when you're talking to somebody new. Like if someone has stumbled across this kooky, crazy podcast that we do every week and they're hearing us and they're like, how do I get started? I mean, the thing is like the hardest thing to explain to someone is about taste or about quality or something, like that's the hardest thing. Like, you just have to kind of trust your own judgment. Like, would you really buy this thing? Right. The good thing with eBay is that you can go and you can find things out in the world for fairly cheap. Yeah. And then just, you can do research on it, and eBay will tell you, this is worth this is worth that. And
do people buy this?
And so you can kind of figure out what people's tastes are, But I have seen new people come, and they're like, why is no one buying It's My Stuff? And they're willing to share their store, and the community's like, yeah, because the stuff in your store is actual junk. And there's nothing, no matter how hard you work, if you're really only selling junk, you know. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so we have to trust our own taste, and there's no guarantee people have the same reaction, but we hope. We hope.
And we think.
So this coffee shop has been... We bought this building when 2 years ago?
2018. July 2018.
Years ago. 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been basically a 2-year project. That is 730 individual days.
Oh, God.
That's a lot of days.
It's a lot of days.
Each day full of small decisions, physical work, a lot of writing checks.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I think that's what was happening to me this week was just one of those weeks where I'm like, okay, we've done all this stuff. Like like it's looking good. We're, everything's going as planned, but we still have like another, 3 more months of
little decisions and checks to write. So it kind of gets,
with no guarantee.
With no income.
Any of this will be successful.
Yeah. Right? So you're like, it's hard. It's hard. And it's just like renovating a house for a rental. You're like, we're front loading all the costs, all the time, all the decisions, and then you just hope that it pays off. And it does, it has in the past. Right. It's just
calculated, educated guess.
Educated guess risk.
So we have been, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's even take out a bigger view.
Yeah.
We have been together now for 16 Christmases.
Yes. We were like, is this our 16th Christmas together?
New Year's Eve is like our unofficial anniversary.
Yes.
Kind of when we realized that we were like together.
I like you. I'm going to move to your apartment. Watch out. I'm moving in. Didn't ask permission.
And I do love that our life has so much variety.
Yes.
That's the one thing I'm really grateful of is that, over these 16 years, we've been willing to try. You have been willing to try a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Go different places. And then also...
Me and you.
Right. Also to commit to things that we are doing.
Right.
I'm glad that you're that kind of person where we can say, let's do this. Why don't we spend 730 days on this one project?
And hope.
Like a laser beam. I'm glad you're willing to do that.
It's like you were saying at the beginning of this. It's not easy. We were joking just now. Oh, wouldn't it be cute to have a cute little cafe where people oh my God.
I think that's I think
it's just so much more than you think.
In my nightmare world, that's what I see myself from the outside, and I'm like, oh my God, am I that person who's just wouldn't it be so cute to have a little cafe and I don't want to, this is a real business, selling real things, offering a real service that I think people really want.
Yes, they do.
I think can be a business that can be around for a long time in this community.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. Not a cute thing. It's not cute. This is
not cute. It's not cute. Right. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and money. Right. That's what it is. Yep. We've seen people who make cute hobby businesses and they fail, and they fail quickly.
Right.
And they fail spectacularly.
Right. And so I have to also remind us. So we've been together 16 Christmases, Xmas. 6 years ago. It was just 6 years ago, Ryan.
Yes.
2015 when we bought that farmhouse.
Okay, we bought it way before that, but it took us a long time. We bought it in 2011.
True.
Just so you know. Yeah. But that was our first project just using eBay money.
True.
And some of our video money.
Right. So my point is so we're talking about failing spectacularly and having crazy fantasies that are like money holes. So we had our home that we had paid for. Our home was paid off.
Right.
And we're still on eBay.
Yeah.
What a life.
Right.
What a cute couple that is.
Oh,
And then
now you can just live.
And we decided to mortgage our house.
Yes.
To buy this other place.
Right.
And then that farmhouse, it took us 4 years or something to renovate it.
I mean, it was...
Because it was slow, because we were using only eBay money. We were out there selling stuff we were finding.
And it was just you and one contractor doing all the work. So we would take long breaks.
Me and this funny, cool, crazy guy fixing this place up, and I remember when we finally finished it and we put it on Airbnb to.
You remember what happened?
And the first, but we said it before, but it's good to remember successes. And the first person that rented was a young couple. Who
were getting married,
and they wanted it for their engagement or their whatever,
their wedding party.
Right?
Not it wasn't a party.
Right.
It was the brides and the bridesmaids,
and
they wanted to take photos there. That was our first renters,
and it felt good because that's what we were trying to.
And I cried.
Yeah,
I saw the thing come through our phone, and I just started crying because I was
worked out.
I was like, this is exactly why we built this place, and it worked.
So when that coffee shop opens, and the first a guy comes in give me a good honest cup of coffee, and we make him and I'm going to start crying. Are you going to start crying?
I have no idea.
And he's going to be like, I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, lady. I just wanted some coffee.
I'm like, here's your muffin.
This is the most expensive cup of coffee.
I made this muffin from scratch. Right. It took me 700 days to make it.
I will say, I'm curious what people think of this. In a little small country town, especially coffee is kind of a weird thing, why, I just get my coffee down at McDonald's, so this is going to be espresso maker,
But I have opinions, but
let's countrify this. What do you think when you go into a cool Brooklyn coffee place, but in a small country town, you get the great, delicious specialty coffee, but then you also get a chili dog.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're having this conversation on the podcast. It's not appropriate.
No.
Okay, my version of that.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, I pushed it too far. Anyway,
who's working on the menu here? Is it me and Jill? Or is it you in your pajamas?
It could be me.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's have a poll. Let's have a little poll. You're going to get a latte and a chili dog? Question.
I would be like, wow.
There are other things that you can make that are rustic Southern food that is not a dang chili dog. Although I will eat a chili dog.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, this is a debate within our kitchen.
Right, fine. Let's talk about eBay. So we had
eBay.
There was a long thread because we're still talking about shipping.
Oh.
Someone started a thread with what is your worst delay?
Yep.
Mick Dog started that.
Yep.
What is because the post office has been very slow and everyone's trying to track their things.
The worst delay that I can see, which is like a lot of people, is a coffee bag that we shipped out to someone in Alabama. I wonder if you're listening to this right now. And I shipped it on November 30th. It's going to get there on Monday. So that's basically 30 days.
28 days, yep.
Yeah.
I think
28 days.
Someone said that their worst case was 38 days. Atlanta to Memphis.
Atlanta to Memphis. You're like, that's
mailed on October 23rd.
Now that is really bad.
Delivered 11:30.
I'm surprised that was not lost.
Yeah.
I think that was pre-craziness too.
Yep.
I sent presents to my mom and my brother, and it took 16 days to get there to Massachusetts. It got there. It got there yesterday. I was like, oh, thank God.
So are things starting to
yes,
break apart?
So I'm seeing things start moving again. On Christmas and the day after, I was seeing a lot of updates because I I literally just went into USPS and subscribed through the email alerts to anything that I saw not moving for coffee and for eBay. I'm like, I want to know. Yeah. So stuff started moving, but the stuff that I shipped like the week before Christmas, like the 16th and 17th, I'm not seeing movement on those. So I think they're going through the backlog from the beginning of December. So stuff from the first week of December is like pushing through.
So maybe I'm not seeing it, but this past week we only had one person who, a buyer on eBay, who sent us a message who says, my item hasn't come.
And I explained to her and she said, fine.
But that's it. I mean,
I know.
Really, people either are hearing the stories or they're not caring or something. But
now the only thing I can think of is that they know about it. Or they're seeing it on eBay when they check the tracking or say item not received, and eBay's like, hold on. Or we sell items that are not like commodity items. So they're like, oh, it's a vintage vase. It'll get here.
Right.
So that's the only thing I can think of.
Cool.
So there was one person. Well, it was hilarious. It was one person whose tracking had actually started moving early on. And I just said, like, I've seen delays of up to 20 days of stuff going to the next state over. So I said, it's amazing that yours is actually moving. So be patient. It's not lost. It's just moving.
I will say other people have said this too, where something will get scanned and then there's a nothing. It's dead air.
Yep.
1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like a long time.
Yep.
And then suddenly it's just there. And,
yes.
And that's what people have to remember, that,
I know.
All bets are off, and so things are not getting scanned along the way, and that's fine. Things are getting to places, so that's why if someone does complain, is you just try and calm them down, because it will probably be there. Because there were a couple of people who said, like, someone, emailed me.
I refunded them right away.
Yeah, I didn't see any scan at all, and I just refunded them, and then they got it the same day.
It stinks. Yeah.
So I don't know. We're all doing the best we can. Now, we mentioned last week with FedEx, some people had said, why don't you just do FedEx? Because like they're actually like this commercial company that has like better scanning and they'll get things on time. And you said,
too expensive.
It's too expensive. Now,
however,
a couple things I will say. I mean, we have always said that larger, bulkier items has always been cheaper on FedEx for the most part.
Yeah, right? it generally can be. I'm not saying always. It can be cheaper.
And if you do the Smart Post, it can be cheaper too.
Right.
But the ironic thing about Smart Post is it's cheaper because FedEx hands it off to the
post office, which sends it parcel, which is really slow. But other people were saying just like regular, normal FedEx, and I think, didn't you send something? Yeah. So one of the coffee bags, like I said, which has been like having crazy delays, this poor woman, I resent her a bag through FedEx, and I was like, so I don't know FedEx as much as I know USPS. I feel like I know USPS like the back of my hand. And so FedEx does have like these carrier packaging, so a lot like a flat rate envelope, and they have like padded flat rate. They're called like Sure Packs or something. So I went to the FedEx. There's actually a FedEx store a block away from our roaster building, which is brand new. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
And it's not an official branded FedEx store.
It's like the Postal Business Center, right. and they have a FedEx, right. and they have FedEx supplies. So I went in and I was like, do you have like a FedEx envelope that just has one price? So they handed me a bunch of envelopes. It was a paper envelope and a padded envelope. So I went into Shippo, goshippo.com, and I was like, FedEx, and I tried to make sure it was the same packaging I was using. I'm like, I think it's called a Sure Pack or something like that. And it was $9 to like somewhere in the south of here. So $9 is more expensive than USPS, but I was like, USPS is sitting on their packages, so I know this is going to get there.
So it's like $1 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right, it's $1 more.
So because I don't know a lot about FedEx either, I just always think of it as like the overnight company. So it's not an overnight package. It's just
right. You can pay for overnight.
Okay.
But I think what was confusing to me was the packaging said FedEx Express. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I don't want to pay for Express. I want to pay for ground. Right. Ground is something totally different. Like, that's where I was like, I don't know this as much as USPS.
So they have the priority overnight, like what everyone thinks of, like it gets there the next day. Yeah. But then they just have like regular kind of mail, like 3 days or something.
Yeah, it's like so think of it this way in terms of USPS. USPS has overnight.
Right.
USPS has priority mail, which is 1 to 2 days, in quotes, or 20 days now. And then they have like ground, which is like parcel. So FedEx has super overnight express guarantees, like $50 for a little thing. Right. Crazy. Then they have priority mail, which is called FedEx Express. Okay. Which I mailed on before Christmas on Thursday, and it's probably going to get there Monday. And then they have ground, which is just like for big, heavy, bulky boxes. It's going to take 9 days to get to California.
So the overnight, they do that whole guarantee. Like, we guarantee it. Because you're a middle one.
They're like 2 days, okay. 2-3 days.
But they don't
guarantee it.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the ground, they're like, it'll get there when it gets there. It gets scanned every 100 miles.
Okay. So it is a little more. So it was So it was not as cheap as the post office. No. But it hadn't been a lot more. No. And we hope that it'll be there more. Faster.
So what I did was I went back to the FedEx store and I was like, can I have a few more envelopes? And I went on FedEx because I have just a regular... You can get a free account with FedEx to get supplies and stuff. So I got a bunch of those like padded envelopes because I'm like... There might be times where we're like, okay, we have like 3 big bags of coffee we need to send to someone, and let's do the cheaper like FedEx. Yeah. We've done that a couple of times with people where we're like, I do need this to get there in 2 days, like up to New Jersey or something. Yeah. So it's an okay alternative. Like, I'm not paying $50 for a box. Right. I'm paying like a couple dollars extra maybe. Right. So that was helpful actually.
Good. Okay. Our eBay store this week was...
Well, Christmas. No. I don't think we sold a single thing. Today we sold a bunch of stuff.
Not great.
But today doesn't count.
Today doesn't count for the week. So we go from December 20th to the 26th. So it's
which is yesterday.
Sunday to Saturday. We sold 30 items. Yeah. Which, number one, isn't great. We normally sell like 50 items.
40 to 50, yeah.
And... It was all relatively low dollar. Our average was about $26.
It was low.
Our highest was $70. So we made $784.
What? Oh my god!
Not including shipping. If you include a shipping, like some people do, we would have made like way over $1,000. But you know.
So look, for me, the reason is it's Christmas. And nobody got any of their packages for Christmas.
Well, I will say,
so they're like, why am I buying stuff?
Putting on my businessman cap. It's interesting, eBay, the kind of stuff in our store. Yeah. Random, weird, vintage, crazy, wacky things. Yeah. Just kind of dead. Yeah. I guess it's just not the things people buy this week. In our coffee business, we had the best week that Broad Porch has had for the whole year because it's more traditional retail. Right. People were buying online and also in the Harrisonburg store. Right. Just bags of coffee
for gifts.
Flying off the shelves.
Like we ran out.
Because people are buying multiple bags because it's a fun Christmas present, stocking stuffer. And I will say, so it's just like different business during the season.
Yeah, you know? It is funny to see that. Yep. Traditional retail front-facing store.
And then like our rentals are fully booked.
All 3 of our rentals are fully
families
booked.
Are renting to self-isolate and have like a fun like country Christmas. Right. And so that's great too. So it's just interesting how different businesses will be interacted with during like different parts of the year.
But we did see today, so today doesn't count for this week's numbers that we're talking about, but like I was sitting here making breakfast and I was like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Like the most random stuff was like so weird. So I wonder, so maybe people got gift certificates. Maybe people got money for Christmas.
We have to say that.
Maybe people didn't get what they wanted. So they're just like buying stuff for themselves. So it'll come back, of course. It's just funny.
It's just
that's a low week.
So I mean, we still have So this is probably the last full week of 2020.
Yes.
Thank God.
Thank God.
This is probably our lowest sales of the entire year.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of funny.
Maybe we'll never sell anything again.
I doubt it.
It's the end.
I've been listing too all Christmas Day. I was listing on I was sitting by the fire,
nice,
drinking a cup of coffee.
Nice.
I made myself some cookies,
nice
keto cookies, and I was listing on eBay.
So
it was nice.
Okay, real quick. I don't want to spend too long on this, but I do have a question for you. I know you were doing eBay because that's who you are. You're a worker, but it was a relatively chill day,
right? Like I said,
like one we haven't had in a while.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a life where just every day was like that, or just like you didn't have, on Monday there wasn't a million things we had to do. Where like that day was chill, and you're like tomorrow's going to be chill, and the next day is chill.
Oh, you know what? I would get really bored.
Would you?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so what are we going to do? Let's refinish all this furniture that's going into the cafe. Okay, go. It was chill because it was our own pace. Right. But okay. It's nice to have breaks. Like, it's important to have, like, intermittent breaks where you can have a day like that, like Christmas, where you're like, okay, everybody's off. All the stores are closed. Right. Let's chill out, even though I was working, but it was very relaxing.
Right. I mean, it's tough because those of us that sell on eBay, especially full time, like it's hard to make yourself have like a weekend. Right. Yes. Just because you just feel like
Christmas Eve, you and I are watching a movie or a show or whatever. It's 8:00 at night. And one of our renters, the phone rings and our renters are like, oh, the kitchen sink is leaking. You got to go fix that.
Get out of the pajamas.
Yeah. I think I went over there in my pajamas. I was like, whatever.
Put on masks, fix this thing.
And we did. Yep. And then we came home and it was fine. Yep. But, like, sometimes you don't get a break.
Yep. Things we learned in the forum. There was a fun thread on the advantage of being a seller at Christmas. I don't know if you saw that or not. Just where...
Did I miss that?
Someone was like, did you never run out of packing supplies?
Oh, yes, I did see that.
It was...
you always have a present.
Started this. It was good.
You always have a quick present to give someone.
Yeah. You always have party outfits.
That's true.
You probably always have ugly sweaters. Mm-hmm. You have the good excuse of, I'd love to come, but I can't get off of work because I
work all the time. Yep. That was cute.
If someone doesn't like your Christmas decor, if someone likes your Christmas decor, you can just give it to them.
That's funny.
It didn't cost you anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have gone into our clothing before where I need something nice to wear. My mom's wedding. I was like, I need a dress. Grabbed a dress.
SoCal Joe said, I always feel like a VIP at the post office this time of year because everyone else is an amateur.
Yes.
And they're like, have their packages and they're waiting in line and it's really long.
It's funny.
And those of us who just, print a label at home.
You just having it scanned.
Walk right up and you just like dump it on the thing and you like leave.
I totally felt like that because we ship our coffee at I have pickup for eBay at our house, but we ship coffee at the post office because it's a block away. Yeah. So we come in with like 2 huge IKEA bags and it smells like coffee and everyone's like, oh my God, it smells so good. And like now we know everybody at I knew them before, but now I really know them because I'm there every day. Yep. And they're like, oh, I love it. It smells so good. And you're just like, yeah, everybody else. You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what insurance is.
I think the thing I like is that if we get a gift, don't tell anyone this, and we don't like it, we can sell it.
Yep.
As long as that person doesn't know that you have an eBay store. Don't tell anyone that.
Yep. I've done that many times. I think my entire family knows that. Don't sell this on eBay. Then just give me something I want then.
Oh no, that's so sad. Anyway. Okay, we have no calls this week.
Nobody called.
Everyone was busy, I guess, which is totally
good.
Cool.
Yep.
They can be busy. I will say, again, thank you. We've been, talking about this coffee business now for the past several months, and people is responding in such a good way. We're really grateful. Buying coffee. We hope you enjoyed it. BroadPorchCoffee.com.
Yeah.
We hope that everyone wasn't just buying for Christmas, but that those of you who out there that drink coffee for a living.
Like I do.
Like we
literally.
Do, you make us, you're like 2021 coffee. Like,
yeah. 12-month subscription.
Grab a bag. Let's go.
A 12-month subscription is $11 a bag, which is the cheapest you can get.
Yeah.
So,
which is going to be a little. Look, I will say, if you go to like Costco and you buy the big 2-pound bag of
the French roast,
whatever, Starbucks, it's cheaper. I get it. This is going to be a little bit of better quality. I think it tastes better.
I know.
And it helps a small business. So anyway, BroadPorchCoffee.com. Go check it out. And like I said, we have new hoodies and merch.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Shirts. So if you're in the mood for a new look, check it out.
Do it.
Anyway, I do also want to say that on Wednesdays, our friend Steve is still making videos about the things he finds and sells. And we no longer make those videos anymore.
I think I made them just not very many.
Right. Well, there were quite a few, I guess. But Steve is committed, and it's always fun on Wednesday to see the things he finds, and he tells good stories. And I think if you're new, that would be the thing to check out.
Yep.
And he shows you the things he finds and how much he sells them for.
I also want to say, since it's the last of the year and it's New Year's, thank you to everyone who sent us tips in the tip jar.
Oh, yeah.
So nice, so generous. It helps us pay our server costs to keep this podcast up and alive on the internet. So thank you.
On the, our website.
Yeah.
Scavengerlife.com. Anyway.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
This podcast is now ending in 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.